What's going on, guys? So today we're going to go over how to overcome objections in the approach as a phone sales agent. Now, guys, I always like to tell agents that they need this one formula. If you master this formula, I promise you, you can overcome any objection that may come your way as a phone sales agent. So guys, write this down. If a client gives you an objection, you want to agree, acknowledge, and assume. Agree, acknowledge, and assume. Most times when a client gives you an objection in the beginning, it's simply just a knee-jerk reaction. And they're just responding naturally, not really understanding exactly what you're there for, right? So you don't want to come off combative. If a client says, hey, Jalen, I just don't have the time right now. I'm not interested. I already got life insurance in place. You just simply want to agree with them. Don't fight them. Don't say, well, Ms. Betty, you just simply requested this information about this life insurance plan. We need to talk today. Don't do that, right? Because you're not going to get anywhere with that client. I promise you. I've learned from experiences, right? So you want to agree with them. You want to acknowledge, and then you want to assume, right? So here's how it sounds. If a client comes to me and says, hey, Jalen, I just really don't have the time right now. I'm going to say this. Hey, Mr. John, listen, man, I completely understand. In fact, I don't have the time right now myself. I just was simply giving you a call between my next appointment because we understand you just requested information about our life insurance options. I was just simply trying to get this information out to you right before my next appointment. Only takes about 5, if that 10 minutes. Now, on the form here, Mr. John, I see you're located out there in Ohio. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay, perfect. And you proceed with the rest of your script, right? Here's the next one. If a client comes to you and says, hey, Jalen, I already got that life insurance taken out. Agree, acknowledge, and assume. Hey, Ms. Betty, listen, I completely understand. I'm actually very happy to know that you value life insurance. It shows me that you care and you love your family. Now, in most cases, Ms. Betty, people who request information from us already have life insurance in place. Now, when it comes to us, we want to make sure you have the best plan available for your family. Now, when you have requested this information, Ms. Betty, were you just requesting this for yourself or for you and someone else? I go straight back into my script, okay? Now, if a client comes back to you and says, hey, Jalen, I didn't request that information. I want you guys to write this down because this is what I use for most objections, okay? Here's what I say. You ready for it? Oh, this is a good one. I'm getting excited about it. If a client says that they did not request information, guys, write this down. It's all about your tone and your pacing. Okay? It's all about your tone and your pacing. It's all about overcoming objections is simply all about how you handle it and your tone. So watch how I say it, guys. Watch this, okay? Well, Jalen, I don't even know how you guys got my information. I didn't request it. Here's what I'm going to respond back and say. Mr. John, that's quite concerning for me. And the reason why it's concerning for me is because we did get a list of all your information on here. And as a state agent, my job is not to sell you anything, but to simply make sure nobody's illegally trying to take out life insurance in your name. Now, Mr. John, on the form we have here, your date of birth is 1/10/1965, and you also listed here that you're located out there in Kansas City, Missouri. And you listed here, you put your favorite hobby as golfing. Did I read any of that information wrong at all? No. Okay, perfect. Well, Mr. John, my job is pretty simple. It's just to simply verify the information that you listed and to see what your options are. Now, on the form, Mr. John, I see you only listed your name. Were you just requesting this information for yourself or for you and someone else? Okay? And you go straight into your presentation. So again, you want to agree, acknowledge, and assume. If you follow that one simple formula, you will simply be able to overcome a lot of objections in your approach. Take this information and apply it immediately, and we'll see you at the top.